Well, welcome back to the Prospect Hut, and hopefully you like this video. This is a channel about Mets prospects, so if you like Mets prospects, I like to go through and dive very deeply into what's going on in the Mets farm system. I love to dive even deeper. If I had more time, I would dive even deeper into it, to be honest with you. But what's interesting is the Mets did something on the 4th of July, which I missed, but I'm going to talk about it here, and they did something they'd never done before. So if you want to know about stuff like this, hit that subscribe button and share the video. Also on Substack. I'm also on Facebook. Facebook's doing great. Everything's really good. That's from MLB.com. Mets set to sign Italian teenager Matteo Morelli and franchise first. And it's interesting, it's written by Anthony DeComo, so a couple paisans, talking about a real paisan. An authentic one, for 2 years. Mets scout Rosario Chiovaro watched Matteo Morelli compete at Major League Baseball's European Development Tournament in London. At that time, Morelli was still just a raw teenage pitcher, far from a legitimate MLB prospect. He did not yet stand out in meaningful ways. With their recent investments in international infrastructure, however, the Mets have more resources than ever to commit to the scouting of such players. 3 months ago, when Chiovaro showed up to the ETD in Barcelona, he noticed Morelli's fastball velocity had jumped from the mid-80s to as high as 94 miles per hour. His changeup looked like a legitimate weapon. It was enough for Chiovaro to reach out to Morelli's father, who was also an agent. 2 months later, the 19-year-old Morelli is set to become the first European amateur signing in New York Mets history. He and the Mets will make the agreement official at a small ceremony Saturday in Rovigo, Italy. What I'm most proud about is the Mets are expanding their global footprint. Chiovaro said, "I want the Mets to be a global brand." Isn't that what Steve Cohen has talked about? Bringing in young people from all over the world. It really expands your ability to sign players all over the place. And, you can bring in talent from all over the place. Which obviously Steve Cohen's talked a lot about bringing in talent. Because that's what he does in his regular job. Unlike many premier athletes in Europe, Morelli never showed much interest in youth soccer, basketball, hockey, or other local popular sports. The son of a ski instructor, he instead gravitated towards baseball, and specifically to the mound. Over the years, the right-handed Morelli developed 5 distinct pitches, including a kick change he perfected by watching social media videos. Quote, "It's easy to see when somebody's different from other people, from other players," said Francisco Cervelli, a longtime Major League catcher and current head coach of Italy's national teams, including Morelli's U23 squad. "You see a future. It's a very interesting play." Interesting. And the arm, he actually said it like that. Interesting arm. And the arm, once he starts training every day, you're going to see results very quickly. Scouting Europeans can be a difficult enterprise given their short baseball seasons and lack of opportunities against high-level competition. And the weather's not great in Europe. I think we kind of know that. Unlike elite Latin American teenagers who typically sign their first contracts at 16 and spend years maturing under the guidance of professional coaches, Europeans must either leave home to attend a foreign college or otherwise prove themselves in domestic leagues and the occasional international event. Morelli did earn a scholarship to Arizona Western College, but Mets officials believe he has the type of makeup to handle a transition straight to professional baseball. Earlier this month, the Mets invited Morelli to the Dominican Republic, where Chiovaro watched him having full-blown conversations with Latin Americans in Spanish. His English, according to Chiovaro, is even more polished. He enjoys playing chess, a game he considers similar to the art of pitching. More than anything, he was willing to uproot his life for a $10,000 contract and a chance at pursuing his dream. Oftentimes, the kids that we're signing in Latin America, this is their only avenue. It's baseball poverty. Matteo is an interesting case. Interesting. He said that too. Because it's not that. He has other options. He can go to college in Europe and he can pursue any other avenue. But he's taken, obviously, a modest bonus to go halfway across the world to try to be a professional baseball player. I think that speaks volumes to how much he loves the sport and what his ultimate goal is. Coming here is it's not easy. And then he's doing a job here and he probably doesn't speak really that great of English, to be honest with you. Once he formally joins the Mets, Morelli will begin his professional career in the Dominican Summer League alongside mostly Latin American teenagers. His challenges will include acclimating to the culture and weather. If Morelli succeeds, he will eventually make his way to full-season ball in Florida, with an eye toward one day reaching Queens. Saturday's ceremony marks the start of a historic journey for both player and team. Since Steve Cohen purchased the Mets in 2020, he's made significant investments in many areas of the organization, including international scouting. Recently, the team augmented its presence in Japan and elsewhere in Asia. Earlier this year, the Mets signed Dominican teenager Elian Pena to a $5 million deal, a franchise record for an international free agent. MLB has simultaneously increased its own investments in international markets with events like the London Series and the EDT, raising awareness and smoothing the path for amateurs in Europe. For Chavarro, a Mets scout since 2020 and the son of an Italian immigrant, the agreement with Morelli is especially poignant. In prior years, the Mets have acquired a smattering of European players by way of either an American college, a domestic independent league, or another big league organization. They've never signed a European amateur directly from the continent. I'm super proud to bring an Italian into the organization for the first time. I hope that Matteo goes back and tells his teammates and tells his coach how well we treated him. I think that can help the Mets moving forward. Just that we're going to have a global footprint and a global impact in more markets. I would also add, after the 2019 season, Major League Baseball and Nike signed a deal. Obviously, we know that all the issues that we've had with the uniforms, but they signed a deal after that season, and Nike, obviously, as you don't know, have a close relationship with Communist China. And the belief is, and the word is that part of that deal was that the major league teams had to basically contract a few of their minor league teams. Most of the teams had three more teams in the minor leagues per team. So you're talking about 90 teams. So what they did was, as part of that deal, they were told to get rid of them as part of the deal, and that they would have these training camps in China itself. So you could see major league teams signing kids from China, and of course you're going to see that, I think, eventually. Baseball is very much behind the other sports internationally for quite a long time. They're way behind the NBA. They're way behind football, that's for sure. In terms of Asia, Europe, and a lot of it has to do with the weather, especially in Europe. The weather's not great. The fields aren't great, and there's not a lot of time for the summer to play games. So it'll be interesting to see how many more players come from Europe that can help, not just the Mets, but all these other teams. But this is a great investment for the Mets, to be honest with you. And hopefully you like this video, and of course, please subscribe to the Prospect Hut. I'll see you later.